Yes, the Jamaica National Trials is now here, looking to wind up later on today. And I just want to use this opportunity to take a look at some of the results. Now, some months ago, I made some predictions as to what I believed would be the makeup of Jamaica's team to the Paris Olympics. And these trials have basically proven true to form. And so I want to use the opportunity to just run down some of the results and take a look at some of the faces and the transformation changes that clearly has now been registered as far as Jamaica's track and field is concerned. Now, keep in mind that Jamaica has a long standing tradition at the Olympic Games. And this, dates back to the the 1940s, 1948, when the island first entered the Olympic movement. And so, certainly, over the last 2.5 decades, we have driven that home to the world. And Jamaica now ranks among the top three track and field countries in the world. And of course, we have that reputation that we now have to defend. I would hazard a guess that a few months ago, there were doubts as to what is happening in terms of the track and field, cohorts. We saw the injuries with Elaine Thompson, and Elaine Thompson, the double Olympic champion, 100, 200 meters, back-to-back Olympic games, and everybody wanted to see Elaine defend at this Paris Olympics. It would have been, a huge record for her had she been able to not only attend the Olympics, but to defend her double titles for a third time. Of course, that was not to be, and that I predicted that was going to happen. Not that we're throwing in a stone after Elaine. She just made some bad decisions, and life is like that. And so we move on. And so this past weekend, we saw what I want to call a sort of a changing of the guard with the women's 100 meters final. We essentially saw where, of course, Jackson did what was expected. She defended her title. And the gate we saw was pushed open with young Tia Clayton, who finished second, running, what was it, 10.90 seconds. Sherika, of course, won 10.84. That was expected. We figured that Sherika will be the Jamaica standard bearer at these Olympics, both in the 100 and the 200 meters. And let's forget about all of the noise that is being made elsewhere. Beautiful to see young Tia Clayton, 19 years old, basically stomping her claim as finishing second. Some other names that I had anticipated too that was not going to be there. We see Brianna Williams never made it, and of course J3's policy now is that they pick the first three, and the remaining two athletes that make up the relay pool then basically reserve that right to make that selection down the road. I don't believe that Brianna, um, has done enough to stake a firm claim, and so she's gonna have to prove that, particularly over what is the Diamond League circuit or whatever meets are gonna be run between now and the time them finalize the team for Paris. But certainly Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce, who has done your woman service for Jamaica. No other athlete, outside of perhaps Usain Bolt, has impacted Jamaica in a way and impacted the sport in the way that Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce has done that. And to her, we want to just use this space to say thank you very much for your service. I'm not counting Shelly out from a podium finish in Paris. We know her determination. Just that alone tells you can't count out Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce. But certainly, we are expecting that Jamaica will defend the, the, our position as a top sprinting nation again. Certainly with the women, we expect Sherika Jackson to stamp her own class, certainly on the 200 meters. I ain't counting her out at the 100 either. And I think when you have a coach like Frano behind you, you know, and I'm not talking about no miracles, but Frano is a genius. And by the time Frano does his tweaking, as long as these athletes are, healthy going into the Olympics, the sky is going to be the limit. But the big find of the trials was this man, Kishane Thompson. Now, it has been 7 years, almost 2 Olympic Games now, that Jamaica has made its mark or its presence felt in men's sprinting. We have been unable to garner any medals in this side of the sprinting discipline from the men's side for the last 7 or so years. And this past weekend, Kishane Thompson ran 9.77 seconds to become the Jamaica's men's 100 meters champion. It's the second, since 2022, this has been the fastest 100 meters run anywhere in the world, right? The Omaniale is the only other athlete who have run this time. And of course, Kishane Thompson, with his 9.77 seconds, becomes the 9th fastest man of all time in the world. And where he come from? Jamaica. Again, coming out of Frano's camp, and of course, Frano has not had a male champion sprinter. And so knowing the magic that Frano has, boy, we're moving now from a point where we saw Oblique Seville, who finished second in 9.82 seconds. Akeem Blake finishing third at 9.92. So Jamaica, from a position where we were not really being counted by most of the pundits in track and field for a medal at 100 meters, now Jamaica is being touted as not just being able to win one, but at least the prediction now is that Jamaica will win 2 medals at this in this 100 meter sprint. Granted, yeah, there are other athletes, but I remember Usain Bolt making an argument a couple of weeks ago when he said that the men's 100 meter sprint at the Olympic Games is wide open. No athlete had been dominant, and it was not outside of Jamaica's ability in terms of our ability, our tendency to find talent. It wasn't outside of Jamaica's capacity and ability to become, a contender for medals in this event. I'm going to push the envelope a little bit, and I believe that, while Noah Lyles has a whole heap of argument, and he has been dominant, and you have to give him that, I don't believe that he's anymore a shoo-in for a gold medal. Kishane is a little inexperienced, yeah, we know that. But again, that's why you have a coach for. And the coach is going to be there with him. The time that this youth run, and consider him run 9.77 seconds and with about 10 meters to go in the final the other night, and basically turn and look on Seville, which would have clip off a couple, thousandths of a second off at the time. So I believe him can run faster, and I believe that, the Americans are no longer no shooing for the continued dominance in this thing. Certainly men's 100. And again, here we are, Jamaica, basically staking his claim. And this is what the trials, Olympic trials, is all about. It's about showing to the nation and the world where the resources are. These youngsters are the ones who carry Jamaica's flag. The Olympic Games is an important part of the marketing of Jamaica, not just in sport, but socially. Again, we make reference to Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce. There with herself, Usain Bolt. These are two people who have carried Jamaica's flag around the world multiple times. And so it's important that we continue to give a good showing. You know, of course, medals is what everybody wants to be taking them time out to predict. Still a rough call. I know the hurdles, the jumps, the field events basically is going to be the space where we're gonna be having to look for the medal counts. The hurdles we're looking, good. The both male and female hurdles. We see where McLeod is contending for a space on the trip to Paris. We have Broadbell, Parchment. Well, Parchment is still to make the qualifying time, from what I understand. But all in all, I believe that we should be serious challengers for medals at the both male and female hurdles. In the other sprint, 200 meters, of course, the expectation there is for Sherika. But at the same time, there is young Tia Thomas, who had basically decided to run for Jamaica as opposed to running for the United States. And she's a pretty good, strong contender for a spot on Jamaica's 200 meters team. Shelly Ann, of course, has opted not to run the 200. And so there is a space that is still left open. We're gonna, wait until the end of the trials to look at that. But the 100, 200, the hurdles, the jumps, Jaden Hibbert, well, he is the top triple jumper in the world here right now, and still very much, just wiping off the breast milk off a mouth corner. We expect him to shine as well. It's amazing that there was a time when what we looked at as far as medal prospects was primarily just on the track in terms of the sprint. I don't think we're gonna be competitive over 400 meters. We're still yet to find a team to qualify for the 4x4, again, because of just lapses by the administrators. But by the end of the trials, we will see if the team would have qualified. It's going to be potluck with some of these medal predictions, and I'm not going to venture down that road. But suffice it to say, I think the trials has given a good indication of, who to look for. Some of the names that I had predicted that wasn't going to be on this roster for Paris 2024. We know about Kishane Thompson here, and tough luck to her, but some of that is of our own choosing, in my opinion. And we wish her well. I don't believe that Kishane is going to be any more a contender on the international track scene over the next 2 years. But Shelly Ann is 37 going on 38 years old. If she have this spirit and the drive, if she can borrow some of that from Shelly and find out how Shelly does that, then maybe. But I think Jamaica has answered the question that we are going to be competitive, certainly in the sprints, and that's where most of the eyes are as far as international track and field, and in particular the Olympic Games. We will be equally competitive in the field events, in particular the jumps, the hurdles, and so the trials is proving true to form. Let's see what happens by the time the curtains come down tonight. But certainly, I want to use the opportunity to big up Kishane Thompson. Want to big up Sherika. Also want to big up young Tia Clayton for making her first Olympics. And of course, what that points out with Shelly making her final of her 5th consecutive Olympic Games. Granted, she'll finish 3rd in her event, she has a spot, and kudos to her. This is testament to fortitude, to belief, to commitment, and if nothing else, if we don't get a medal from Shelly, I believe that just her presence is a solid enough message to young girls, not only in Jamaica, but around the world, that if you believe in yourself, right, your circumstances as to your origin is not what is important, is what you do with the chances that you get. And Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce is the epitome of all of that. Want to again just use the opportunity to big up all of the athletes. If you like the video, just click on the link, the like button, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to give you a lot more of this kind of commentary as the Olympics roll in August, and just other general issues. Just click the video, click the like button, share, and of course, if you haven't, we'll ask you, subscribe.